The golden age of piracy did not last long, but it did put pirates into our pop culture for good. Except since their first screen appearance in 1908, they were nothing but amusing fiction. However, with shows like Shogun setting up the tone of authenticity these days, there's a pretty good chance that an upcoming Italian series Sandokan will follow similar steps. Now, I wouldn't spend my time researching a TV show if I thought it would tank right off the bat, so here are a few things that caught my eye. First, the whole pirate theme has been in hiatus since conclusion of Black Sails in 2017, and I think it's about time that someone would come up with something fresh and decent. Second, the series is already in post-production. Even though it will air in Italy first, eventually it will be distributed worldwide by Fremantle, making it very tangible for those of us who live outside Europe. And third but not least, an eye-catching international cast. For a change, instead of Jason Momoa, we have the Turkish star Can Yaman playing the lead, we have John Hannah, who always gives it 100% and is always fun to watch, and we have Owen Teale, who just have tons of experience and gravitas. Others look promising too, but these three is already enough to anchor the show for me personally. Sandokan is set in the mid-19th century, way past golden age of piracy, when pirates were already actively hunted by governments. And the show will feature an antagonist based on Sir James Brooke, a real British soldier and adventurer who in 1844 began anti-pirate operations with ships from Royal Navy and East India Company. It will be interesting to see if the series will touch upon East India Company's downfall that pretty much reached a point of no return around that time with Sepoy Mutiny in 1857. The only TV series that really lifted up the curtain behind the infamous company was Taboo with Tom Hardy, and the topic is pretty much still fresh.
Sorry, no, Nook Sound is not for sale.
Open the envelope.
If you are like me and only read Treasure Island or Captain Blood, who on earth is this Sandokan? Well, unlike other free thinkers of that time, Sandokan is 100% fictional pirate created by Italian author Emilio Salgari and is the hero of his 11 novels. And the name Sandokan might come from the town in northern Borneo, Sandakan, or from the word sandok, which in Philippines means ladle. Nobody knows. You take your pick. The man is described by Salgari as tall, attractive, very muscular, charming, with cold black eyes and a severe look. He always wears fine oriental clothes, predominantly red, and a big turban on his head. Well, turban absence aside, so far so good. The new Sandokan will be a fancy modernized version of 1976 miniseries that propelled Indian actor Kabir Bedi to his Bollywood stardom. If you don't know who Kabir Bedi is, don't panic, you probably do, because he played the villain's right hand in James Bond Octopus's Gobinda. The series is produced by Lux Vida, which means, by the way, in Latin, see the light, known in this particular genre for shows like Leonardo and Medici, which I think is a plus for potential quality. The filming mostly happened in Italy, including mid-region and south, and as well in the Reunion Island in Indian Ocean, which is like a really tiny island. So a lot of exotic locations, which is another plus, especially for those of us who are stuck in the perpetual winter and for whatever reason can't travel. Based on Variety, the show is being described as a grand epic with a strong environmental angle. Now, I'm not sure if it's a reference to the storyline elements like in Avatar, for example, or the actual production process, because the show's costume designers claim that their creations have green soul. They did apparently recycle and transformed old clothes and used a bunch of bottle caps and washers and whatever, like old bolts, to decorate the costumes of the tribes and pirates. Keeping in mind that we are talking about pirates here and not Roman legionaries, I think the historical accuracy is not of that importance, and there is way more room for imagination here, and they've done a remarkable job on those costumes, I think. Plenty of color, just enough flamboyancy and individual character. And for those of you who want to check out the first look video with the proper music and without me on the background, I'm gonna put the link to the official Lux Vida website down below. If you're still watching, you are the champion and you just had your first date with this new upcoming series. Now, what do we usually do on the first date? Unless, of course, we're pretty tipsy already and anything goes. We look for red flags, right? Well, I found a couple here. First one, it's not a deal breaker, but it needs to be addressed. It's weapons. Now, Sandokan's sword looks like a Vietnamese or Chinese Dao Dao, and that's totally fine. But what's that dual-bladed thingy there? I don't know. It's definitely not a haladi knife or by any means any practical version of double-bladed dagger. So we are in a purest fantasy territory here. Pistols and muskets do look proper to the period, but kinda on the cheaper side. Now I'm not saying they have to resemble museum pieces, but a little bit of more detail, at least for high-ranking officers, would be nice. And yes, this is important because if there is a slack in one area, who knows where else the corners might be cut. One of Sandokan's crew members, though, does man a blunderbuss, which is really, really cool, and you don't see that often. Now, let's move on to the real red flag. This is what CEO and producer of Look Sweetest said, according to Deadline. Sandokan is not just about pirates or about history or adventures in exotic lands. It's a story about love, one of the first multicultural relationships of our times, and never more so than today, a symbol of passionate and powerful answer to hate and division. Beautiful. Love is good, division is bad. Robin Hood also got his Marian in later reincarnations, and now we cannot picture them separately. But then I saw this on IMDb. Check it out. The show is supposed to be a fresh and modern take on the world of Salgari, with a strong female point of view from the brave heroines such as Lady Mariana Gillang. I am not against strong female characters at all. If in doubt, watch my Casanova video, which is an unorthodox example of a well-written strong female characters, and one of the reasons why I made that. But we all know, unfortunately, what a fresh and modern take with a strong female point of view can mean these days. Now, I'm not saying it's a girl boss alert per se, in fact, it's probably far from it, but just something to take a note of. And regardless of what I just said, all that is not enough to take me away from a second date with modernized Sandokan. Thank you so much for watching. Until the next one.